Viewers, the Congress party has wasted no opportunity over the years to pass judgment over Hindu customs. The Gandhis, over the last 10 to 15 years, have allowed their allies to heap insult on Hinduism, to compare the creed to abhorrent diseases, to ridicule Hindu texts and caricature Hindu deities in offensive light, to even stand in the way of Hindus reclaiming their religious place of worship. The Congress has presided over a legally sanctioned loot of Hindu temples by continuing with the HR and CE Act, even when it's been in power, and even when Hindus have petitioned it to cancel this act, to scrap it. The Congress has even boycotted some of the defining moments of Hindu cultural pride, but giving very little to the faith, discriminating against the faith, doing virtually nothing for the faith, hasn't stopped the Congress party from still seeking to exploit the tolerant nature of Hindus. Viewers, I'm going to now tell you about an instance that has come to light over the last 48 hours. And this only underlines the point I'm making. In what can only be described as a highway robbery of Hindu assets, the Congress government in Himachal Pradesh is now ordering temples to fund its freebie schemes. Yes, viewers, to fund its freebie schemes, the schemes it has promised to woo voters and further its political interests. It wants Hindu temples to fund them. Viewers, why are they singling out Hindu temples? Why can't they also ask mosques, if they are so inclined, to contribute, or church organizations? But I'm getting ahead of myself, viewers. If you don't believe what I'm telling you, I'm going to quote straight out of the government order, which has called on Hindu temples to fund a very important Congress so-called relief measure. Here it is, the diktat in black and white, and it's on your screens. It says, various temple trusts functioning under Himachal Pradesh Hindu Public Religious Institution Charitable Endowment Act keep making contributions for charitable activities and welfare schemes run by the state government. They may make contributions towards Mukhyamantri Sukh Ashray and Mukhyamantri Sukh Shiksha Yojana to provide funds for welfare schemes. Contributions must first be passed by the temple trust and in strict adherence to laws governing the trust, unquote. Now, what has brought the Congress to the door of Hindu temples is the ruinous policies it has adopted, viewers. The Prime Minister has in fact warned Hindus that the day would come when the Congress would take everything from them, including their Mangal Sutras, to pay for what he called were electoral bribes and other inducements for its own survival. If Himachal is seeing the Congress dip into temple funds, what stops them from doing so in other states? In states where they have a government, as those too are facing extreme debt. Himachal Pradesh might have outstanding liabilities, viewers, of 42% of GSDP and total outstanding liabilities in crore terms of nearly 1 lakh crore, net interest payments of 5,465.2 crores. But Karnataka is not very far behind, 22% of GSDP total outstanding liabilities, which come to, viewers, a whopping 5,97,618 crores. Net interest payment of 33,000 plus crores, viewers. Telangana outstanding liabilities is 27.8% of GSDP of that state, which puts the total outstanding liabilities at almost 4 lakh crores. Net interest payment of 22,244 crores, viewers. As pointed out, the Congress has not been a friend of Hindus. Here's when the Congress has undermined Hindu interests. The Gandhis have skipped the Ram Temple inauguration and the Maha Kumbh. These were defining moments, viewers, of Hindu pride, of Hindus celebrating their rich culture. The Gandhis gave them a skip, saying, No, we don't want to participate in RSS functions. The Congress President Kharge has mocked Maha Kumbh. He mocked the Snan, called it only a stage for competitive politics, where people take dip after dip, dip after dip, and that too, they continue to do so till they are photographed and they are put out on camera. The Congress kept silent, viewers, when Mamata Banerjee used the slur Mrityu Kumbh. The Congress opposes scrapping of the Place of Worship Act, which would allow Hindus to reclaim some of their most holy places of worship, viewers. In fact, they brought in the Place of Worship Act to discriminate. Ex-Maha Congress chief Patole called for the purification of Ram Temple if India bloc came to power. DMK called for the eradication of Sanatana, dubbed it dengue and malaria, viewers. Did the Congress go out there and hold protests and go out and picket the home of Udayanidhi Stalin? No, viewers, they didn't. In fact, some Congress leaders in Karnataka actually endorsed what he said. The story of brazen discrimination against Hindus prompts several questions. Why is the Congress only reaching into the coffers of one religion to fund its freebies? Especially, viewers, when the recipients could be of multiple faiths. Why has the Congress not asked masjids and church organizations, etc., to fund its SOPs? Does the Congress discriminate against only Hindus because it has no regard for their welfare? Has the Congress party singled out Hindus because it thinks they are a soft target? Because there are some of these questions that need to be posed tonight. And I'm going to bring in Ashutosh Mishra, Lokesh Jindal. We also have with us the BJP national spokesperson, Mr. Tuhin Sinha. We have with us Dr. Anand Ranganathan. None of these gents need any introductions, viewers. But I want to begin first with Ashutosh Mishra. Mr. Mishra, this is a bizarre order. Not only does it selectively discriminate against Hindus by only asking Hindu temples to fund these schemes, but it also, and this is where I can't understand this. It also takes the community for granted, that same community that the Congress party and its allies deride. This is absolutely exploitative, singularly so. And does it show that the Congress has really no disregard for Hindus at all?
I think your question had already been answered by the Himachal CM, who first of all said this is voluntary, and this is voluntary from temples that are state-run. Number one. The problem actually here is, and he's going to use the funds for orphans, for the welfare of orphans, and whatever we as Hindus offer in the temple is meant for public welfare of the society, not just for the pandas of the temples. Now, problem here arises because public welfare has never been high on BJP's agenda. If you remember,
Mr. Mishra, one second. No. I think you didn't understand my question. First of all, let's just offer a clarification here, because you seem to suggest something which I found striking. You said that they've only asked a specific category of temples to make these contributions. Which are these temple categories?
And voluntary. And that also voluntary.
No. Which category of temples?
Those that are run by the state.
Run by the state
government.
Viewers,
managed by the...
Okay, now one second, sir. Does the Congress state government there run the mosques and the churches?
I think you and I both are well aware that churches and mosques, they are managed by the people of their own community.
Okay.
It's the Hindu
do you not find that strange that only Hindus, their places of worship are managed by the state, so you can take the money? And are you aware, sir, there is a Supreme Court judgment. I don't know if you're aware, but that Supreme Court judgment tried to finesse this ugly discrimination. At least it tried its best to give a fig leaf. It said that these funds should only be utilized for Hindus and their welfare in religious context, not in secular means. So you can't divert these funds and splurge on, let's say, building roads or funding orphanages, etc. I have nothing against funding orphanages. But sir, are all the orphans only from the Hindu faith?
So, as I was saying, that is the problem with BJP and its ecosystem.
No, what is the, this is not about BJP. This is not about BJP, Mr. Mishra. This is about a principle of equity.
Of every religion, if they are being taken care of, wouldn't the majority be of them be of Hindu religion?
I don't know. Can you certify this? Can you certify this? No, so Hindus are supposed to today fund everyone's welfare in this country while others get an exemption. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Mishra?
That's what you are saying.
No, I'm asking you.
They will get an exemption.
No, I'm asking you.
If there is a case where the government-run temples are being asked to voluntary, and you don't want to give them that, you don't want to give them that benefit.
Okay. Let me open this up. I won't. Since you talk about the BJP, I'm not going to start with the BJP. I'll start with Dr. Ranganathan, because let us not make this political views. First off, let's make this first. One second. No, Ashutosh Mishra, it's not political. I'll explain it to you, and Dr. Ranganathan will perhaps explain it to you even better. So let me hand it over to Dr. Ranganathan. Dr. Ranganathan, he said this is just political. We shouldn't be nitpicking because we want to further the BJP's interests and so on and so forth. Can you explain to him perhaps why he might be a bit wrong?
But actually, in all honesty, first of all, good evening to you, Rahul, and good evening to my fellow panelists. It might come as a surprise, but I am not going to grill my good friend Ashutosh ji, because the real entity that needs to be grilled out here is actually the BJP, and let me explain. The fact of the matter is, Rahul, that the state control of Hindu temples, their property, is by far the largest, financially most damaging scam of independent India. And even using the petroleum sector as a cash cow pales in comparison to the loot and pillaging of Hindu temples in the name of secularism. But here is the thing, I ask you, if the Congress can bring in a legislation to control Hindu temples in 1959 after the mud judgment of 1954, one that still stands, why can't the BJP bring in a legislation to override it?
Dr. Ranganathan, I know this is your hobby horse. I know this. So, you can bash the BJP into the ground and I have no problems with that. I also have the similar complaint. But let's address this issue tonight. Yes, there is a law. It should be scrapped. You and I agree. Because no one wants anyone to be selectively discriminated against. Now, if you agree that the law is punishing one community, should the Congress party be adding to that torture?
The Congress party has always been itching to add to the torture of Hindus for 75 years.
Now, how can you qualify that statement? Please annotate that statement, because tomorrow you will be accused of singling out the Congress party and being a BJP apart chick.
Look, was it not the Congress party that established the state control over temples? Was it not the Congress party that wanted to bring the communal violence bill, whereupon only the majority, i.e. Hindus, could be held guilty irrespective of who committed the communal violence? So, of course, Congress is anti-Hindu. They are going to use the acts that they brought in that are discriminatory. The point is, in Himachal, in 2018, in 2019, it was the BJP government that was using temple money for welfare schemes, including 15% of the temple money that the boards that it controlled. So the BJP was doing it, the Congress is continuing it. And after the Congress goes out of power, BJP will continue it. Both of them are discriminating against Hindus. The sooner the Hindus realize this, something would happen. But till such time, I completely agree with you. What Congress is doing is untenable and unacceptable. But the problem is, it is not Ashutosh's question to answer. It is the BJP's question to answer.
Twin Sinha.
Well, good evening, Rahul. Good evening, everybody. Like you mentioned, it's quite fashionable to blame the BJP, but when it comes to temples, 10 years ago, people had stopped going to temples. Now, millions and millions of people throng to temple towns. I think that is also something which BJP has given. That change of culture is something which BJP has brought in the country. Yes, freeing temples from government control is something which over a period of time, we believe in. 51 temples were freed from government control in Uttarakhand. That model has worked well, and I think over a period of time in the coming years, more temples will be freed. Why they have not been freed till now, I don't have an answer. But like I said, I think, we should not be blamed on temple-related issues, because 10 years ago, people had stopped going to temples. You check the figures. Our temple towns were places which were not cleaned. They had the narrowest of roads. Today we have built infrastructure, and today people, instead of going to Goa in their holidays, there are reports that people go to Mathura, Vrindavan, Banaras and Ujjain. So I think that's a big cultural difference which BJP has brought, and for which BJP needs to be credited. Now, coming back to the point, see, Congress state governments and opposition state governments have become synonymous with fiscal anarchy. Himachal Pradesh, has 42% debt to GDP ratio, which is the second worst in the country after Punjab. That's their choice, that they have made a choice to derail Bharat's Viksit Bharat journey. That's their choice. But to go back to the temple for funds shows they have very little self-respect. In the last 1 year, Rahul Gandhi has attacked temples twice. On one occasion, when he insulted Shakti, he says, Hindu dharma mein naam ek shabd hai Shakti, hamari ladai us Shakti ke virudh hai. And on second occasion, in an attempt to be oversmart in attacking Modi government ministers, he said, Modi government ke ministers jo hai, murtiyon ki tarah hai, mandir mein murtiyon ki tarah hai, wo nirjeev hai. So after that, if in Himachal Pradesh, Sukhu realizes that the only savior is Hindu temples, that only shows that the Congress has exhausted all its toxic politics. It will have no other option but to come back to the Hindu community, and the Hindu community will then not accept a Congress party which has always been dubious in its conduct.
Okay, so let me just one second, Dr. Ranganathan, 1 second. Let me just bring in Lokesh Jindal, because you see, I never started out, viewers, by making this an issue about temple reform. That must take place. This is about rampant discrimination. Every person in this society, whether they're Hindus or Muslims or Sikhs or Christians, has a responsibility, if one were to put it like that, to help somebody in trouble. But the Congress, viewers, doesn't want to look at it from a holistic perspective. It only goes to Hindu temples. It can't make an appeal, for example, to a masjid or a gurdwara or a Christian organization, saying that, look, if you feel benevolent towards orphans, please contribute, because you sit on a lot of funds. So, Mr. Jindal, I want to ask you, it's not as if you are very well disposed towards Hindus either. I think that has been established. Yet you want to take them for granted again in isolation. You are not interested in perhaps being truly secular, even in the demands that you make of the public. You say, no, only Hindu temples must contribute. What kind of secularism and inclusivity are you practicing? You call yourself the India bloc. One of the eyes is inclusive. Where is your inclusivity?
Well, good evening, Rahul. You have just read out the circular, the notice that was issued by the secretary, and he used the term may rather than shall while circulating that piece of notice. The whole idea is, in government notices, if there is a word may, it means discretion, voluntary discretion by those temples. Had it been mandatory, the notice would have used the term shall.
Okay,
And
if you are getting into semantics, stop there. If you are getting into semantics, wouldn't it have been great had this particular note, and let me, viewers, once again take you over this particular note. So, viewers, what does this note say? It says that various temple trusts functioning under, now wouldn't it have been great, viewers, had it said various religious institutions functioning in the state of Himachal Pradesh that keep making contributions for charitable activities and welfare schemes run by the state government, they may make contributions. What stopped? And Mr. Jindal, you can't get around this. What stopped you from making what is known as a truly secular, all-encompassing order? It only needed you to keep out the words various temple trusts by saying various religious institutions. Why spare in this noble activity that you claim? Why spare the denominations and the place of worship of those denominations? It's very simple.
So, Rahul, there are 35 large temples
I
in
don't
Himachal
care. I'm
Pradesh.
asking you, sir, are you a secular party or do you only believe in exploiting one community? I'm asking you this simple question. First, heaping abuse upon them. And what right do you have to ask Hindus, the same Hindus who your allies go out there and continuously ridicule?
Then you can go to the Constitution, Rahul, Article 25, Clause 2, Subclause B, and let me read it out to you. It clearly says that nothing in this article shall affect the operation of any existing law or prevent the state from making any law providing
Yes,
for
so I'm
social
saying,
welfare.
do you specialize in making discriminatory laws? The Place of
No,
Worship
this
Act,
Article
discrimination
25
against
clause
Hindus.
2.
No, 1 second. The Waqf Act that again discriminates in an indirect way against Hindus, opposing the UCC, which also, if not adopted, discriminates against one faith over the others. So I'm asking you, does the Congress party, I have no problems if you say yes, the Congress party has a penchant for making discriminatory laws because we want to use our arbitrary powers or powers under article such and such of the Constitution. If that is the case, I rest my case. There's nothing more to be said. You don't have if you don't have any benevolence towards Hindus, no natural disposition in seeking their welfare, that's fine. That's the Congress stand. May you live by it, sir. No problems. But if that is your argument, I'm asking you, is that it?
So, Rahul, we are grossly mistaken here. The SDM, he took the meeting of
I don't want ifs and buts. I want you to tell me whether it is voluntary. Okay, Dr. Ranganathan wants to come in. He's been itching to come in. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. A couple of points out here. Look, for what the Congress does and it has done for the last 75 years vis-a-vis the temples, everything else, it has been branded anti-Hindu, correctly so. But for the same thing that the Congress has done, the BJP also does. Why is it not branded anti-Hindu? Why?
Because I'll tell you,
BJP
Dr. Ranganathan, because when the chips are down, and let the BJP answer that, when the chips are down, no, hang on, when the chips are down, they actually do something about something. The point is, I'll tell you, I'll give you 3 or 4 examples. You may not like it, but they actually helped in expediting the Ram Mandir Ayodhya dispute.
How?
They moved a petition in court, as you know. The BJP the BJP member of parliament did. He moved this petition to expedite it. The Chief Justice of that time said, okay, we'll address this in a timeline, in a time-bound fashion. Number 2, they are leading today through the courts the charge. And please, I'm sure you know Mr. Upadhyay. He's a BJP member of parliament. He's a BJP leader, and he's gone to court on trying to get equal rights for Hindus by striking down polygamy, etc., etc. At least aspects of the UCC. He's gone and challenged the Places of Worship Act 1991. There are BJP people involved in doing several things. The development of Kashi, the corridors, the Mathura. Today we see that there is a huge windfall to various traders in the larger triangle.
Rahul,
so look, let's not be completely disregarding.
I just want to,
and secondly, Dr. Ranganathan, secondly, they made it very, very easy today for us as Hindus, for a large number of them, to take pride in their culture and civilization, which was not even allowed. This was all exercise. Anyhow, 1 second. Let Tuhin Sinha answer you. I'm not going to sit here and hog his time. So please answer, Dr. Ranganathan. How has the BJP helped the Hindu community?
Prior to 2017, one of the reasons why the Ram Janmabhoomi case was not progressing was because 11,000 documents were pending translation.
That was your job.
Farsi and from other languages.
They weren't
That was your job.
And one of the sorry?
The government's job was to translate it.
Yeah, but Dr. Ranganathan, hang on, Dr. Ranganathan, just think about this. No, 1 second, no one is, but at least they did their job. Dr. Ranganathan, at least they did their job. Other governments did not do their job. Other governments did not do their job. So then give them credit for that.
But you might take, Anand, you might.
For a person's job is to build a road, he builds a road.
Emotionally, we are still on the same side. So please don't barge in like Tehseen sometimes does, not allowing me to speak. Secondly, Rahul, on the issue of Maha Kumbh, I think it is the political willpower to channelize, to harness the country towards Maha Kumbh, which was the prime reason for its success. When has the country even the government had not estimated, even the government had not imagined more than 40 or 45 crore people would come. But look at the final outcome. Why? Because there is a change of psyche. That change of psyche is because of the political willpower shown by our leadership towards
Dr. Ranganathan, let me ask you a counter question. Are you today in favor of only Hindus being milked? Simple as that.
Okay. So
are you in favor of only Hindus being milked by the state of Himachal to contribute this?
Alternative.
Yeah.
Look, the Waqf Act is going to stand. It's going to be amended, whatever. These temples are going to remain in control. Let me provide an alternative. If you're not going to remove discrimination against Hindus, can you please deploy discrimination against other religions?
Look,
why don't you start controlling
Dr. Ranganathan,
why don't you have a...
I'm sure one of these days you're going to stand for election and you'll become Prime Minister and you'll find it very easy to do all of this. And God bless you and give you more power. I'm sure you'll be able to do it. You've got millions of followers. You've got millions. I'll vote for you. I will definitely. I've always been a follower of yours. I'll definitely vote for you. You'll get at least one vote. For sure. But the point is, we're faced with a few realities right now, viewers. The point is this. That we put the BJP into power. A large number of Indians put the BJP into power. And some of them, maybe a majority of them, if you look at the statistics, were Hindus to do some things. Some things have been done, other things are pending.
Correct.
No one denies that. But at least some things have got done. And that's why perhaps Mr. Modi came back a third time. Maybe people said, look, hang on, we'll give you a few seats less if you do a little bit more. In Ayodhya, there was some anger because of certain issues. Even in Kashi, there was a bit of anger. That's why the margins of victory were less, or in some places, there was a loss. Uttar Pradesh stood up and said, look, we want more. The government has to address a large number of things, but that doesn't give political parties the freedom to punish one particular religion and bunch of people in this country constantly. That too after deriding them. And that is what I want to come back to, Mr. Jindal. I don't have much time because we have to move to a very important issue. So, Mr. Jindal, I want to ask you, why was only, whether it was voluntary, whether it is not voluntary, why was only the temples asked to contribute the funds? Why couldn't this have been, as I said, a more secular exercise? Is it a bad question that I'm asking?
No, see, first of all, the appeal by the Himachal Pradesh government is to all.
No, it's not. So please, don't twist. I'm going to put it out there. Hang on. Don't mislead viewers. I don't like to use a harsher term. Please. Now, hang on. This is what is said, viewers, and it's there on your screens. Various temple trusts functioning under Himachal Pradesh Hindu public religious institutions. Hindu Public Religious Institutions Charitable Endowment Act may keep contributions for charitable activities and welfare schemes run by the state government. They may make contributions towards the Mukhya Mantri Sukh Ashray. Today it's this scheme, viewers. Tomorrow it will be the scheme about giving money so that people can have... No, why not? It can be free bus rides. It could be anything tomorrow.
Of course.
The
Making
Maharashtra
government, always.
The recent BJP government, it has asked the Shirdi temple.
Look, Jindal, I'm asking you a simple question tonight.
No, wait a minute.
Hang on. No, what about you? I'm asking you. We can ask that question. Dr. Ranganathan has already opened that front. He's monopolized that. So don't try to... hang on. Don't try to... hang on. Don't try to wheedle out of this. 1 second. Don't try to weasel out of this. I'm asking you a specific question.
You have to answer this. Why do you want to allow... You have been talking about milking. And it has been BJP which has been milking Hindu asthas and mandirs. And Sangh Parvar has its eyes on the wealth of temples.
Okay, so the BJP is an anti-Hindu party. The BJP is an anti-Hindu party. Fine, the BJP is an anti-Hindu party. Does that mean the Congress also gets a license to become anti-Hindu, Mr. Mishra?
Congress is not anti-Hindu. The problem here is
what does this make it? If you only want to single out... No, Mr. Mishra, please tell me. If it is not an anti-Hindu party, if it means...
BJP's problem and the problem, as Sardar Patel said about the RSS ideology, is its poisonous thinking where
this is the problem.
benefit
There
from
is no rational
can I come in, Rahul?
Well,
I have a very important point to
viewers,
make.
I think Dr.
If you
Ranganathan is
allow-
getting his own answer. There are more Hindus opposed to any granting
To
of
Hindu
Hindu
criminal
rights
forces
in this
like
country than there are
BJP.
anybody else from any other sect. So I think, Dr. Ranganathan, you got your answer there. One day when the BJP wins 90% of the vote, maybe it will do everything that you want it to do. Maybe you should help them win those 90% of the votes. Okay, one second, Mr. Jindal, very quickly, I want to come back to you because I think Mr. Mishra has gone down another rabbit hole. So I just want to ask you, since we are having that conversation one-on-one, I want to ask you this. Why couldn't this order have gone out to people of all religious denominations? Do they not have a responsibility in helping a fellow citizen? Yes or no?
Rahul, first of all, when you talk about a
just
trust,
say-
all the expenditures are audited, and if such a form
Sir,
of a
please
circular
don't.
is given
I'm not saying that
by
those
the
expenditures
state
won't be
at that
audited. I'm
point of
asking
time,
you.
it is permitting
no,
the
one
trust
second, one
so as
second.
to contribute in the Sukhashray scheme.
No, one
it is going
second.
to
I'm
only
asking you,
benefit
why
the trust.
can't, why, of course it should, and it must. There should be schemes
It
like this,
is-
more
it
and
is
more
going to
schemes
be- it
like
is
this,
going to be
more
for
and
the
more
benefit
schemes
of
like
the-
this. But I want to ask you, hang on, this is double taxation. The Hindu pays his tax, then he gives his donation. That donation is also used to fund a scheme.
Absolutely. No, a Hindu who is paying a donation is never taxed on the donation.
So viewers,
You are
please,
informed
sir,
that he's
what are you
exempted
saying?
from taxes
I'm not
which
saying
are
that they're
given
taxed
in
on
Arey,
a
I have been
donation.
taxed.
Up,
11 lakhs I have given, I have been taxed
After
30%.
double
What
taxation,
am I
okay, one
doing?
second. Congress leader here, Mr. Lokesh Jindal, you can constantly pull out some diversionary tactic here. I'm asking you a
There's no
simple
diversionary
question.
tactic. You're never taxed
Does
for,
the Congress,
charity.
Mr. Jindal, you are taking me literally. I didn't mean it literally. I meant it rhetorically. Can't you even understand the language? But I'm not going to get tempted by this. I'm going to come back to my question. I'm going to ask you, Mr. Jindal. I'm going to ask you, why wasn't this a holistic order? I want to ask you this. Are
Well,
other
the
communities
order was
exempt from
issued
charity?
Now, the order was issued by the Ministry of Culture, Language in Himachal Pradesh. And that ministry, the secretary, he appealed to the 35 temples only. It's not religious institution. It's not an order that is a decree that was religious in character.
Why couldn't he
as
have
there
appealed
are
to
certain
mosques? There's a
cultural
massive
sites,
mosque in the
there
middle
are
of Shimla.
certain temples which
It has
come under
enough money to
cultural
encroach
sites.
on public land and make extensions
There
and
are
go
certain
upwards
temples
without
which
permission.
come under
There
the
are hundreds of
cultural
other
sphere,
buildings there.
and these
There is
temples
a
are being
church
asked-
right in
10
the
seconds,
heart
Rahul.
of Simla. Why couldn't they be asked? I'm asking you this question. Why only the Hindus were being asked? It's a simple question.
See, it's not that all temples are to be making their contributions. It is only 35 temples which are culturally very
Whether
important.
it is one, why
which
shouldn't
come
it be
under
another
the
mosque?
cultural
Why shouldn't it
department.
be equally one church? Why shouldn't it be equally one Gurdwara? Why should it only be
So
Hindu
basically,
temples?
yes, you are certainly right to pitch
Certainly right.
for
Now,
churches
viewers,
being
after
included
30
in the
minutes,
culture,
after 30
and
minutes,
why
he has
not? I mean,
conceded
as an
that
activist
this
for
policy
other,
is discriminatory. After 30
No,
minutes of
absolutely
my
not.
badgering him. Anyhow, Dr. Ranganathan, quickly before I need to move on. Yes.
Yeah, just single line. Congress is anti-Hindu, I say, on the basis of facts, because it has brought in, promulgated 3 virulently anti-Hindu acts and was about to bring in another 4th one, anti-Hindu act. Problem with BJP is not anti-Hindu, but BJP is continuing with those acts. So what would you call BJP? I will leave that to my good brother.
Okay, Tuhin Sinha, quick response. Quick response. Quick response.
The Waqf Amendment Act is going to be a big game changer, and everything takes its time. So when we got 240 seats, people were questioning where would we have the capacity to bring in the Waqf Amendment back. But in the next 1 month, it will become a reality. In the same way, other things will also happen. So I request my good friend Anand to have a little more patience and to join the BJP. Maybe that would make BJP more cognizant of the demands of a certain section of people.
Well, let me tell you, Dr. Ranganathan has so much faith in the BJP. That's what we should take away from this debate, that he wants them to do everything because he knows they're the only ones that can do it. So viewers, there you go. That's the indication of his faith. And he's disappointed right now as one voter who thinks that the BJP has left him a little short. Well, viewers, that's a longer and larger discussion. We've had that several times. But the fact is, tonight, finally we got the Congress representative, the Congress leader, to come out and say, yes, maybe this could have been a more holistic approach. We could have included other groupings too. Well, viewers, what does it tell you? What does it tell you? But I want to move on.